Bernie Sanders went after billionaires, and then the argument flipped fast.
Mr. Bessent, thanks very much for being in the office the other day. Mr. Bessent, the United States today has more income and wealth inequality than has ever existed in the history of our country. You got three people on top, Mr. Musk, Mr. Bezos, and Mr. Zuckerberg, who are now worth almost $1 trillion. That is more than half of the bottom of our society, some 170 million people. Three people, more wealth than the bottom, 170 million. We have more concentration of ownership today than we have ever had. We have more concentration of ownership in the media, where a handful of billionaires like Musk, Bezos, Rupert Murdoch increasingly own the media and the information that the American people receive. We have a corrupt campaign finance system in which a small number of billionaires in both political parties make huge contributions into the presidential and congressional campaigns.
Something I agree with here. Yes, definitely. Money in politics is absolutely the worst thing we can possibly consistently maintain as a society that's looking to kind of keep its freedoms, let's just say this here. Because if a small amount of people who are making a gigantic amount of money, copious amounts of money, let's say this here, are deciding what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, this just means that America is no longer for the people, it's for a small group of people that are basically kind of running things. The rest of the stuff that he's saying here, guys, it's not a crime to be rich here. When Bernie Sanders speaks, he generally is coming from like a egalitarianism based type of thing where these people here, okay, have a lot. So we need to make it so no one else can have a lot ever again here. By doing this here, what do you do here, guys? And by doing this, all you're doing here is destroying innovation. Innovation gets destroyed when egalitarianist type of talking points get brought up here.
When you have a small number of multi-billionaires who have enormous economic, media, and political power, would you agree with President Biden, who last night stated, and I quote, "An oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms," end of quote. That's what President Biden said last night. I agree with him. Do you?
Senator Sanders, I enjoyed our visit.
Talk a little bit closer into the mic.
I enjoyed our visit, and I hope you got my follow-up materials that on the discussions, my previous writings on the tariffs and China. And look, the three billionaires who you listed, that all made the money themselves. Mr. Musk came to the country as an immigrant.
I understand that, but what I'm asking you is, when you have a handful of people like Musk, who will soon be part of the Trump administration, and others, when you have three people owning more wealth than the bottom half of American society, when these people have enormous influence over the media, when they spend huge amounts of money in both political parties to elect candidates. What Biden said last night is we're moving toward an oligarchy. I'm asking you that question. Do you think, forget how they made their money, do you think that when so few people have so much wealth and so much economic and political power, that is an oligarchic form of society?
Well, I would note that President Biden gave the Presidential Medal of Freedom to two people who I think would qualify for his oligarchs. So
this is not a condemnation of any one individual.
Kind of.
I'm just asking you, would so few people have so much wealth and power?
But
do you think that is an oligarchic form of society?
Senator, I think it depends on the ability to move up and down the income.
No, that's not really the answer. I mean, even if you had that mobility.
That is really the answer.
No matter who those individuals might be. All right, but let me ask you another question.
Yeah. Run from this.
Right now in America, we have over 22 million workers who are making less than $15 an hour, and nearly 40 million people in our country earning less than $17 an hour. Shamefully, the federal minimum wage, despite the efforts of myself and other people here, have not been raised since 2009 and remains an unbelievable $7.25 an hour. Will you work with those of us who want to raise the federal minimum wage to a living wage to take millions of Americans out of poverty?
Living wage.
Senator, I believe that the minimum wage is more of a statewide and regional issue.
So you don't think we should change the federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour?
No, sir.
Minimum wage jobs are, for the most part, set up for you to kind of get your foot in the door into a company. Let's be honest here. Minimum wage should not, under any circumstance, be any type of living wage, because that keeps the person in that position indefinitely. Your goal in life is to do better than you did last year. Period. Right? So if you are working a minimum wage job, you cannot expect that minimum wage job to take care of your entire existence, guys. Then what is the point of going to college? Then what is the point of even doing any better? Like, what's the point? You understand, when they bring up these talking points, they disregard the fact that you are absolutely crippling innovation and upward mobility. There is no upward mobility. Give everyone $50 an hour and they're going to work that $50 an hour job, okay, no matter what it is here, indefinitely. They're going to do it. That's it. That's their whole life is now working as a shoe salesman in a mall. Does that make any sense here? Like, that's it now, because that job is paying me $50. Why would I ever want to be more, do better? Why would I ever want to do that? I'm making $50 an hour selling shoes like Al Bundy. I could own a house. Not reality. Listen, minimum wage is a stepping stone, all right? If you say that everyone that works at McDonald's is now going to get by default $50 an hour, why would that person that is making that $50 an hour with a master's degree, what's going on here, guys? You told them to go to school, right? You told them to do better so they can make more money. Minimum wage is minimum wage. That's the minimum that the federal government says you are allowed to basically give to someone that's working. That's it here. It is not your end game, guys. It's not the end goal. Once you start treating it like that, you get caught up in a scenario where you completely, absolutely obliterate the idea of upward mobility and growth. It is pointless, completely.
Millions of working class Americans who are struggling to keep their heads above water are paying outrageously high interest rates on their credit cards. Over half the American people who take out new credit cards are being charged interest rates of over 24%. 24%. During his campaign, President-elect Trump promised that he was going to cap credit card interest rates at 10%. I happen to think that that is a very good idea, and I will soon be introducing legislation to do just that. Will you, as if you are confirmed, be supportive of what President-elect Trump said and what I want to see happen, and that is to cap credit card interest rates at 10%?
Senator, I think we can both agree that many credit card companies have been bad actors throughout history, and I will get back to you once.
Now, a very simple question. Trump said he wants to cap credit card interest rates at 10%. I agree with him. Will you be supportive of what Trump and I would like to do?
When President Trump takes office, and if I am confirmed, I will follow what President Trump wants to do.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much.
So now we're kind of getting like almost exactly into my wheelhouse here. Like, understand this here. Credit cards, that's not your money. And I do think that if someone loans you money, you should be paying a certain percentage back to them, kind of by default. That's the default here, right? If not, then they would have no money to loan the next person, if that makes any sense here, right? And also, credit cards should not, under any circumstance, be lived on, right? Like, don't finance things. Stop this here. We're like the only culture, the only country, right, on the planet that tells its people, please live on credit. Guys, it's a scam, right? Like, understand this here. Growing up, I was always told this one thing here. You cannot afford it if you can't afford to buy 3 of them whenever you're buying it. Doesn't matter what it is. Think about, insert anything, okay? A house, can you afford to buy it 3 times? All right? Oh, the monthly payment is going to be this. Great. Can you afford to buy it 3 times? No? Then you can't afford it, guys. All right? That's not a thing here. Oh, I'm going to go to the car dealership and buy a car. Can you afford to buy 3 of them when you're buying it? No? Then you can't afford it. All right? I need to go get a TV for my house. Can you afford to buy 3 of them at one time? If the answer is yes, then okay. If the answer is no, then you can't afford it, guys. All right? That's the reality here. Stop playing the games here. Live by that motto. You'll understand how finance works. Default here. Understand this here. The argument really to have to be had here in terms of the interest rates of all type of things here, it needs to be done through Jerome Powell, right? And this is, I'm guessing, why Trump kind of went so hard at Jerome Powell, meaning the head of the Federal Reserve currently. Yeah, the interest rates have been crazy. They've been coming down, though, right? And Jerome Powell is not someone who you kind of want to mess with under any circumstance, because he could destroy us in a moment here, right? At will, it seems. Listen, please do not poke the bear known as Jerome Powell. Many of you guys have never heard this man's name before. All right, but he's the actual one in power. Guys, he controls everything, Jerome Powell. All right, I'm sorry, Jerome Powell, don't come after me. I have bad dreams about this man. All right, he's easily one of the scariest men in America. Okay, I'm telling you, Jerome Powell. Did he wake up on a good day today? Are our interest rates going to be fine here? Now, don't get me wrong here. I'm not team lower the interest rate for the sole purpose of lowering the interest rate, because if you do that, then all of the people that Bernie Sanders specifically are talking about here, what are they going to do here? You're not giving them free money. Free money, like basically Japan. Like, it's like trying to go get a loan from Japan, for example. That's where a lot of the people with big money are actually getting loans from right now, because of the interest rate in Japan, right? Super low, like 0.01% interest. You know what that means? Free money. That means whatever I pay back is going to go straight to the principal. Directly, no interest, right? So the more that we can kind of all as a society kind of understand the idea of finance and the economics of things, right? And being able to finally kind of break out of the slavery that we're all in the United States of America, and the financial slavery, right? If you break out of that, please have an understanding of how things work. All right. Growing up, I'm sure a lot of people are like, they hear about trusts and things. Please find out what a trust is, guys. It's not a financial channel, so I'm not going to get into it. But guys, look into an irrevocable trust, specifically if you own a house, okay? Or own any type of like assets, titles, etc. Please get all this stuff out of your name, because the trap that America kind of keeps everyone in is keep everything in your name. I'm sure you've heard this here. I want everything in my name. Yeah, you don't want nothing in your name, because the first thing the government does when they come after you for anything, okay, is, well, what are their assets? Well, how about this here? I have no assets. Everything's in a trust. How much money do you make a year? I make $12 a year, $1 a month. How does that happen? Listen, I own nothing. I don't want to own a single thing. Neither should you. Okay? Okay. Just understand that from the beginning here in terms of like finance. Please learn that side of thing immediately. You don't want to own anything. You don't want to carry debt. You don't want to finance anything. Every single thing is a scam. Under no circumstance do you ever want to like refinance a car loan. Please, guys, please, for the love of everything that you love deeply. All right. Never in your life, if you don't listen to anything, never refinance your car. Okay. Go off of what I said earlier. If you could not afford it, to buy it 3 times, you cannot afford it. So if you ever have to refinance it, guys, never do this, because all they're doing here, let me break down how the loan structures work. So whenever you go get a loan for a vehicle, for example, they front load the interest. So you're paying off the interest for the first, half of the literal loan length. All of that is that. Notice how people try to refinance at the middle point. They psychologically know that that's when they can start offering the refinancing. So what happens when you refinance your car, right? They front load the loan again. So that means you're never actually paying off your principal, bros. All right? Guys, please. The biggest wealth killer in the United States of America are basically you financing your vehicle. And obviously the scam known as insurance, right? There are a lot of scams that are ran in this country on people, and people just are thoroughly confused by why I'm calling them a scam. But just understand here, guys, all right? It seems like America has been set up to make you work and then take your money. That's it, all right? That's it. Debtor's prison. One big, gigantic debtor's prison. Go ahead and go ahead and put all your money on your credit card and worry about the interest rate. First of all, bro, number one here, if you can't afford to pay that thing off that you're putting on your credit card before the statement date, then you could not afford it in the first place. remember my rules here, guys. Okay, live by this, and I promise you, live by this, and you will break out of the financial like nonsense that the average common typical American is basically in. Okay, if you cannot afford to buy it repeat it with me as a mantra. If you cannot afford to buy it 3 times, you can't afford it. So if you put something on a credit card and you can't technically afford what you're putting on a credit card to pay it off before the end of before the statement date, then why are you using it? So like, why are you even worrying about the interest rate? Like the interest rate we all know is a scam, right? So don't do it. You know, once you leave it on there for 30 days, like emergencies only then. Like if you have to do it, it's an emergency and it's a life-saving emergency, not some nonsense. I want a new pair of shoes, bro. What's wrong with your shoes? Who cares? Oh, they look ugly. Who cares, bro? Don't care about what people think about you, bro. I mean that here to the depth of me. But all right, who knows? I'm just some random guy on the internet talking nonsense about the Federal Reserve. I'm sorry, Jerome Powell. I'm not talking about you. You're nice. You're nice and kind. You're a good man. Jerome Powell. You are my favorite. You are my favorite person. You know what my son was for Halloween? My son for Halloween last year was Jerome Powell. And he's 7 years old. Understand this here, okay? I taught my son since he was 5 to basically understand the ins and outs of financing, the ins and outs of trust funds, the ins and outs of like IRAs, SEP IRAs, all of these things. I wanted to make sure that he understood this is what America is, okay? More than anything else. Never refinance, do HELOC loans if you want to after some time from your house and things. Don't go through the bank to buy a house ever, right? Guys, I have bought multiple houses through seller financing. Listen, guys, nope. I will give you an additional $200, right, a month to not have to go through a bank and have them touch anything of mine. Forget all of that, bro. Put that house into a trust. That's it. That goes over there, right? Nothing in your name. Keep away from everything. The first thing they go after is your assets. Okay? The first thing they go after are your assets. So don't own anything, bro. Don't fall into the scam. I'm telling you, if you don't listen to anything else I say, I'm passionate about this because I'm tired of hearing people talk about these things. And I'm like, dudes, why stop falling for the lie? It's all a lie. Right? Just stop falling for it. Please, I beg you. Like, do something good for your family. If you cannot afford to buy it 3 times, you can't afford it. Period. Don't care what it is. I don't care. I make this amount of money. Can you technically afford, to eat out at dinner, to go out for dinner tonight? Probably not. Right? Times it by 3. Whatever that bill is, times it by 3. Can you afford it? No, then you can't afford it. Go somewhere else. Go to Dairy Queen or like McDonald's or something, bro. All right? That makes more sense. Like, that's how you break out of the nonsense that America has put you in, guys. But either way, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. In the meantime, I definitely apologize for this rant. All right. But again, I'm very passionate about I hate seeing people going through things that they could have solved in the first place by understanding you could not afford it in the first place. You couldn't. So why are you doing it? Oh, I have $1,000 in my pocket. This TV here is, I have $1,000. I saved up $1,000 in the bank. The TV is $700. I'm going to go buy it. You can't afford it. Save up $3,000 and then buy that $700 TV. Go for it. That makes more sense to me in my head. I'm going to go buy a new car. That new car is $60,000. Don't look at it like that at all. Look at it as 180, let's say. All right. I think my math is wrong. No, I'm right. Either way, you understand what I'm saying here? Can you afford a $180,000 car? If you cannot, then you can't afford the 60, guys. It means you can afford a $30,000 car or $20,000 car. If you can afford the 60, you go ahead and get yourself a 20. All right. Either way, listen. Please take my word, bro. Please. Either way, I'll catch you guys later.